The Boundary Park Alert System is sponsored by Pendle New Tech, a family-run Lancashire business you can rely on for everything fire safety related, including supply and installation, maintenance, testing, certification, alarms, risk assessments, like I said, anything fire safety related. But what do I know? Visit pendlenewtech.com and they'll sort you right out. Check the show notes for more information. This is a test of the Boundary Park Alert System. Hello and welcome to the Boundary Park Alert System with me, Matt Dean. I'm joined this week as usual by Andy Halliwell down in London. Doesn't look like it's cracking the flags there this weekend, Andy.
Bit chilly today, mate.
September, innit? It's one of them. It's a changeable month. Autumn is in the air. I like autumn though. It's nice. It's a nice time of year.
Well, it's when the football you associate autumn with football, don't you? So now the cricket season is done. Can we just talk very briefly about yesterday? It was the Blast 2020 final at Edgbaston, and Lancashire were in it. I'm assuming you watched it avidly, didn't you, Matt?
Stay tuned, listeners. This might not make the edit, but carry on, Andy.
So yesterday morning I was looking forward to watching. It fell perfectly. You had the first semi-final, Lancashire versus Somerset. Then I was going to watch Latics on TV, and then I was going to watch the final between whoever Lancashire faced in the final, having dispatched Somerset. But it started off really badly when Lancashire got beat. So Latics cheered me up yesterday, no end.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the weather was. Where was the cricket at? Was it at Lancashire?
Edgbaston, Birmingham.
Oh, right, okay, because the weather up here was not suitable for cricket yesterday. It was, very wet at intervals. Boundary Park was just, if you close your eyes and say, imagine a football match at Boundary Park, it was like that. Yeah, driving rain and all the rest of it. But somebody who stayed dry was the fan guest. I know this because they were stood next to me throughout the game. So it's not that long since you were on, but Andy's a stickler for details. So let's just do the questions anyway. Maybe mix them up a bit, Andy. Shoot from the hip with your questions. Ask him anything you want.
What was your first away game?
First away game. So I never really used to go to many away games when I was younger. So it's probably Liverpool or Forest in the FA Cup. Whichever one of those was first, probably Liverpool, I think.
It was Forest came first, didn't it? Yeah, Forest came first, I think. 2012, yeah. Who was your favourite player when you went to your first away game?
That season probably would have been Jose Baxter.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, pretty standard
player at that point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What's your favourite ever away game?
Probably York in the playoffs last season.
Gaz said that last week or whenever it was, a couple of weeks ago, didn't he? So it's a pretty solid answer, that, isn't it?
Special.
Have either of you two seen? It's a half an hour sort of edit and cut by DAZN, which is called No Tomorrows, which is basically a compilation of all the playoff games between that Southend and Latics competed in. I just watched it. I watched it this morning with my eldest lad. Really good good watch. Made me well up again. Give us a little known fact about yourself. A different one from last time, if you have one.
A different one from last time. So I was talking about this on Friday. Actually, I was doing some judging for work for best premium pub food, and we're talking about winning awards. And I actually won an award. I worked at a hotel owned by Gary Neville next to a big, massive, shite football ground, and actually won Player of the Year there. Myself and my colleague felt we were vastly underappreciated, so we nominated ourselves, and I ended up actually winning. Well, my quote that I wrote for myself was on the big screen in front of 200 people. So, yeah, that was quite a day.
So I got you were getting so you were getting paid to eat food then and rate it. Is that?
Yeah, it's part of my job now. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds all right, doesn't it?
It's one of the perks.
That does sound all right. Yeah, very good. Right, who are you?
Adam Kershaw.
Adam Kershaw. Welcome back to the podcast, Adam.
Well, how many appearances is this now? Do you get your match ball? Is this a hat trick or is this? How many is it?
5 now.
5?
Yeah, it's a joke, to be honest, Andy, because I still have to pay for mugs. Nothing for free.
Hey, you've not asked. If you don't ask, you don't get, mate. I mean, come on. We don't have maybe we should have a fan returning thing, but come on, plenty to think about. I'll send you a mug, Adam. It'll say, "This is my free mug" on it.
Love it. That'd be great.
Yeah, welcome back. I mean, it's very handy because you stood next to me, and so I can say, I know you're going to be there. You said you didn't used to go to many away matches, but you do now. You are up and down the country pretty much most weeks, aren't you? So I remember, was it the Tranmere game last season where you were mightily pissed off because you had a house viewing booked for the same day? Is that right?
Yeah. No. Well, that was, again, my missus was like, an amazing house has come up. So I went looking at it, and while I was there, it was actually so cheap because it was a foreclosure on Kelvin Atuhu's business estate. So that's why it was such a good deal. But there was loads wrong with it, so we didn't end up buying it. So we're still waiting.
And you missed Tranmere away?
And I missed Tranmere away.
For nothing.
And I've told her that's the last time I miss a football match.
A forced closure on Kelvin Atuhu's business estate. You're going to have to elaborate on that.
Well, all on Company's House, Andy. That's your specialist subject, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll have a look.
It is, yeah. We've not been able to find any reason to send you anywhere, have we, Andy, down to the courts or, doing any deep dives into Company's House or anything like that? I mean, your detective skills are currently just laying dormant. A bit like Dylan Fage's football talent. It's just sitting there dormant at the minute. Like,
every now and again, I get a little itch just to have a little look at stuff. But I mean, it's quite enjoyable not having to worry about that sort of stuff, isn't it? I'm quite pleased. I had a little nosy at Morecambe the other week just because of what's going on up there. When they look doomed, don't they? But no, it sends a shiver down the spine when you start to look at names of people involved in football clubs, and you can see red flags all over the show, and yet they still continue to be able to purchase them, don't they? It's crazy.
Anyway, yesterday, Saturday, the 13th of September, Latics were up against one of, as we discussed yesterday, Adam, the club that we aspire to be, Bromley FC, based on Frank's visit back in 2022 when we played them down there under Unsworth, the first game. We were a long way behind Bromley, seemingly, as depressing as that sounds, off the pitch, infrastructure wise, etc. And that played out over the 4 games that we played them in the National League. We couldn't beat them. We got trounced by them on aggregate, two away defeats, 2 home draws. So one of the biggest games of our lifetime yesterday, Adam, where we were discussing it. We needed to get that Bromley monkey off our back, didn't we? We were desperate. Massive game. Now it's off our back. Now we've just got to hope that we get Gateshead at some point so we can beat them. But yeah, it was a really
we beat them
game.
in the FA Cup a few years ago.
We did. Yeah, prior to our National League holiday. One of the things I enjoy about standing next to you, Adam, is that you have lots of really good takes on the game that I generally agree with, and then others that I don't necessarily agree with, and that's good because that's what football's about. That's like hanging around with Dave Bradley. Only like I agree with a lot more of what you say than with Dave. Obviously, for obvious reasons, listeners will be aware of. But I think you and I and anybody who watched that game yesterday and everybody who clapped the team off the pitch must have been delighted with the performance. Adam, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I was really, really pleased with yesterday. I've been frustrated the first kind of few games of this season, really. Like my piss has been simmering because I just want I just wanted us to kick start, you know what I mean? I just wanted us to hit the ground running and kind of all this talk of the Ames promotion, this, that, and the other. I didn't think the recruitment was great. It was kind of a little bit underwhelming. But yesterday, like you said, yesterday was bigger than Wembley for Darren Royal, because Bromley are the aim, and now we've surpassed Bromley, so maybe we can pick a real football club and emulate them.
I mean, I just look at it from the point of view of how far we'd slid. Like we were behind all kinds of clubs that were deemed smaller than us and are smaller than us in many ways, but like ultimately what it comes down to is how you're performing in the league. And clubs like Bromley were on the up and we were on the down, and our infrastructure was gone. We didn't have anything. We weren't bringing players through. We weren't generating money off the pitch. You know, Bromley were doing everything right and they got promoted. And they got promoted from being a really difficult side to beat. They are still land of the giants, aren't they? There's a guy there bigger than Manny Mon, so that tells you everything you need to know. They're number 5, absolutely massive. Ryan Woods running around on a pitch must have just felt like he was 5 again, and he was like, walking around the supermarket full of adults or something. It was like they are a big side, and they didn't play particularly well yesterday, but they're still awkward as fuck to beat because of their size and their physicality and everything. So there's just this really nice little combination of Latics now, especially that first half an hour. Yesterday, we played some brilliant football, and that linking up down the left, Hannant and Robson looked absolutely brilliant.
And Conlon, so it's like a little triangle. Conlon,
yeah,
Hannant,
and
Robson,
Conlon,
yeah.
and now Conlon is one of the things that Adam and I don't quite see eye to eye. And you're not his biggest fan, Adam, are you? So how do you think he played yesterday?
I'll file it under acceptable, Matt. Yesterday, I haven't been Conlon's biggest fan. I think a large part of that's last season. Where I just feel like Conlon was the shackles that held us back at certain times. And because I was really excited about Conlon when he first signed. You remember his debut, I think it was against Barnet when we beat them at home. I thought he was excellent on his debut. And I thought a player
that's the one where he hit the bar with that free kick.
Yeah,
he hasn't actually taken a free kick since, until Cambridge last week and got it on target.
So he came in, we've got this set-piece specialist, this League One quality player, and he just really flattered to deceive those first 6 months where we actually were in a decent position and dropped out. And then the second season, he was just a little bit kind of like safe, no risk, everything backwards, taking 10 touches, never looking forwards. And this season, I've honestly had to eat so much humble pie with everyone. The amount of messages and text messages I get every single game because I've been his biggest hater look, he's been a lot better this season, but to me, he still owes me 35 performances. So once I get those, then we'll talk.
Andy, let's give Conlon a bit of credit here, because he came to us off the back of a serious injury, which takes time to get back over. Then he got another injury that he was out for a while with. So I think what we're seeing this season is a fully fit, fully committed captain Conlon. And I think he's been tremendous. And also he's got better players around him, and you play better when you've got better players around you. So like you said, Andy, linking up there with those little triangles, getting those balls in the box. You watched it yesterday, didn't you, Andy?
I did, watched it, yeah.
Tell us your thoughts and your observations.
I mean, I thought, just like you two lads have said, I think you'd be hard to find a Latics fan that was disappointed with that performance. It was brilliant. Everyone to a man. We're talking about eating humble pie. I will eat as much humble pie as anyone wants to give me when Mike Fondop puts in a performance like that, because he was magnificent yesterday, wasn't he? He held the ball up brilliantly. He won every header. Flick-ons went to blue shirts. He was really unlucky with the one that hit the bar. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Good on him. Can't drop.
He found his feet yesterday, Andy. Insofar as like he was dribbling, he was confident with the ball. He was driving forward with the ball. He just looked like he wanted to be on the ball a lot more.
He was also making good decisions in releasing it. So he was making good decisions. He wasn't holding on to it for too long. He was a brilliant. I mean, every one of them played well yesterday. There isn't a single player that didn't get 8 out of 10 for me. They were all very, very good. But yeah, I mean, to come back to Conlon, I kind of understand the point Adam makes. I think we had said at various points last season that Conlon, sometimes disappointed. he often went to the hoofball last season, didn't he? Where he would just do a raking diagonal to try and get out of problems. And I think probably your biggest criticism of Conlon even today is his mobility. He doesn't cover ground quickly. He's not fast with the ball at his feet or otherwise, and so can get caught out.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. I think with the ball maybe, but I think he covers a hell of a lot of ground off the ball. He reads the game really, really well. He might not be like, let's mention Dylan Fage again. He was quick. But he's not super sprinter, but he reads the game well and he covers a lot of ground. I think his work off the ball is incredibly important to this team.
It is, but there were points last season where teams were playing right through the middle of us and the midfield. We had various points when Klukas was there. Notice he scored quite a few. Scored again for Shrewsbury yesterday, by the way. Him and Klukas in the middle looked quite good. Then we lost that straight away, and then it took a little bit of a while for us to find the right sort of midfield balance. And then in the end, the right midfield balance in that playoff trilogy of games that I've just rewatched this morning didn't include Conlon. Mm-hmm. So I can kind of understand the point Adam makes, but one of the things that is quite noticeable is that other than those 3 playoff games, when he's out of the team, you miss him, and that really probably is the thing that allows you to understand how he contributes in the game as a captain, as a leader. I think he's been magnificent this season, and he definitely is on name on the team sheet early, and on merit. So yeah, good on him. Yeah, I thought it was a great display yesterday. We're just still not quite clinical enough, are we? We need to we could have been 2-0 up at half time. Michael Mellon's turn in the box was lovely, wasn't it?
Oh,
you like that? I love that.
Yeah,
when as soon as I saw that, I was like, yes, look at that down there's a bit of class, just making a bit of room from nothing.
And ordinarily, Andy, that would have been the best turn of the game.
Yeah. Apart from
Will Sutton, my beer.
Well, here's another thing. Will Sutton has come under criticism quite a bit over the course of over his entire Latics career, which spans about 5 seasons now, doesn't it? Really, and again for him playing right back, not his preferred position. I think it was Unsworth that first put him there, wasn't it? He struggled originally, and we often talk about players that you want to see improve under the coaching. I think you probably file Will Sutton over under the improved under Micky Mellon coaching category, and Mickey should take a bit of credit for that, because I thought he was brilliant yesterday, and he was pretty solid at Cambridge as well the week before. So yeah, it was a really good display. We played some good stuff. We looked like a good team. It looks like everyone's in it together. There's another nod to the James Norwood argument. He started yesterday for Fleetwood and didn't score. If everyone's in it together, is that better? Arguably, Mickey's got that one right as well. So yeah, we just need to be a bit more clinical and put teams away. You look at other teams scoring 2, 3, 4 goals comfortably each week. We haven't looked like we're going to do that to anybody at the minute. So we could probably do with finding our shooting boots a bit. But I don't think Michael Mellon's fully fit. It'll take him a few weeks to get match fit, and when he does,
he was disappointed when he came off yesterday. Andy, he was really gutted when he came off. So he obviously felt that he had more in the tank, because he got subbed just right down. He came off at our end of the pitch, didn't he? He walked off behind the Rochdale Road, in front of the Rochdale Road end, and he wasn't happy. We weren't particularly happy, Adam, at the time, were we? When he came off, we thought we were running out of legs in the midfield a little bit by this stage. Woods, Pett, and probably Conlon was the one who was doing the most of the running. There was a bit of confusion when people thought Conlon was coming off. He thought he was coming off, didn't he? He took his armband off and everything, but that wasn't the case. And obviously he took Mellon off for Drummond. So obviously we were thinking, well, we'd rather a chance fall to Michael than Drummond. But Drummond was involved in the goal. And we was just I did say, because our kid were moaning about the substitution, and like I said, none of us were really 100% on it. But I did say, let's just wait and see what happens at 90 minutes to see if it was a good one or not. And it turned out to be a good one. Drummond involved in the goal, good goal, good cross, good header. Yeah, and I think Drummond, even if he does come on for 10 minutes, he can make a difference. It's just that that whole thing of it. If that one chance falls to him, is he going to put it away? But I think it just shows though with Fondop, get the ball on his head, get it in there on his head, and he will get it on target generally.
It isn't just that, is it? It's get the ball in front of him on his head, get him running onto it. If he's running onto
it,
that's when he's lethal. Often when the ball's looped into the box and he's sort of running away from goal, trying to direct it towards goal, he finds it a little bit more difficult, like everybody does. So it's with him running onto it. I thought they were all brilliant yesterday. I mean, one of the other points to note is, we've played 8 games now. We're looking like we can compete with everybody. And of the 8 teams we've played, 7 of them are above us in the table. Only one is beneath us, which is Colchester. And we've played top 2 and, we've lost to both those 2 at home as it happens. But, and a smattering of teams in and around the sort of playoff and mid-table. So it looks like we can compete with anyone in this league, which is a really good sign, I think, because 3 points off the playoffs. Having just watched No Tomorrows on TV this morning, I'd love another trip to Wembley, wouldn't you?
It's totally on, Adam. We've competed with all these teams without our best team available to us, and I think I did mention that I thought that this season was shaping up to start like last season, where we weren't, fully at the races. We were picking up points, but we were having chances. We weren't convincing, and then hopefully we'd go on a bit of a run. Do you think this is now a bit of a run? Obviously, you're driving out of Cheltenham next week. Do you fancy us to go on a bit of a run now and move up the table?
I mean, I'd hope so. I think at the start of the season, like Andy said, all those teams are above us. I don't think anyone, bar Swindon, have outclassed us. I think we've probably been in every game and could have won. We've just not been clinical enough. Like Andy said, there's teams out there scoring 3 or 4 goals. I don't think we're going to be one of them. But equally, I don't think we're going to be a team who's going to go and concede 3 or 4 goals either. We look really, really solid. My slight, again, issue or worry with some of the recruitment is, we had injuries and it wasn't our strongest side that started the season, but the strength in depth worried me to begin with. I think yesterday was the first time I've looked at the bench and thought, actually, we've got a few options here. Should we be level or behind? But every single game, I've kind of questioned Mellon's substitutions and gone, should we be going for it here? Do you know what I mean? Because his subs are often like for like. He's putting very little threat onto the pitch. Not that we've had it on the bench, but like Kane Drummond coming on, he did really well yesterday. I genuinely think there's a player in Kane Drummond. We just need to find what that player is and what that looks like. But I think he is dangerous, and with Quigley coming back next week, and you know what I mean, having a few more options. We've got a few more kind of options, horses for courses kind of thing. We've got big men who can lump it out with big physical teams. We've got little whippersnappers who can get in behind you. I think we look all right, and I think we could go on a run. Now we've got our fittest players back.
Yeah,
Quigley doesn't start for me next week after that show from Mike yesterday.
No. And he scored. You don't drop your goal scorer, do you? I think, look, competition for places is essential in any successful team, isn't it? It's really, really important. Joe Garner, having him on the bench will be great again when he reappears. Harrott obviously hasn't found the goal that many times, but he knows where the goal is. The shot at Fleetwood was class. I think he put a really good shot in against Colchester when he came off the bench as well. I think it was Colchester. But, and I think confidence is starting to flow through the side. I think certain players like Drummond especially needs a goal. Fondop's got his first goal, so he's off the mark. And we are going to be very, very difficult to break down. I don't think we're going to get... I'm not going to say it, actually. Just don't want to put a curse on anything. But, when you're looking at Will Sutton coming in, he did tremendously well yesterday. He played really, really well. He came in because Ogle's not fit. You've got Caprice, who's also can play down that side. You can play Ogle in the middle if you really need to. You've got Sutton who can move over into the middle. Daniels, again, I thought had a really good game. Manny's getting back up to his best, although he was on a tightrope yesterday. I don't want he was, he really was, he was on the edge of that second yellow potentially, but he managed to see it through. And Robson has obviously been an absolutely fantastic signing down that left-hand side. We're a little bit vulnerable down that left-hand side, I think, aren't we? Don't really have anybody else that could come in should we lose Robson to suspension or injury. I don't think we're looking a lot healthier down the right-hand side. But you've got Leak to come back, haven't we? He can play that position. So again, there is strength in depth, and there is good quality as well. So yeah, I mean, I at the minute, I'm happy with my prediction of 7th so far. It just doesn't seem unrealistic at all. But it's a long, hard season. It's all very well me thinking all this, whatever, but the one person who really matters is Micky Mellon. So let's have a listen to Micky after this. It's time to hear from our partner for this episode, Build Budget Expert. If you're planning building work, you may be worried about what to do next, how to choose the right architect or builder, and have concerns about going over your budget, a bit like Micky Mellon. Build Budget Expert offers an affordable, personalised service that can guide and support you all the way from first idea to completion, helping you stay organised and prepared at every stage, save money, and importantly, reduce stress. And for all Latics fans, there's a Build Budget Expert promotion, 10% off. Just email hello@buildbudgetexpert.com and quote, "We're on our way. That's buildbudgetexpert.com.
We're the fire experts, fire safety experts at Pendle New Tech. We train fire marshals, fire safety marshals at Pendle New Tech. Pendle New Tech have fire experts across the UK covering all your local and national needs. With over 100 years experience in the fire safety industry, you know that you can trust Pendle New Tech. Right, enough of that now.
Micky, was that a complete team performance this afternoon?
Yeah, but I was pleased. I think there was a lot of quality involved in what we did. But what I was most pleased about was accepting and I'll say that all the time, what the game is asking you. So they're a really good team because they're really good at what they do, and it makes it really difficult. And they're all really well organised, and they're really at the top of their game of doing what they do really, really well. So you've got to accept that, and you've got to counter it. So you've got to deal with the having to come into your box and them making you defend all the time. And we spoke about that, and we said we're going to have to be good at that. We're going to have to be good at the first contacts and coming out with the ball, and then going and try and play our version of football. So there's no right way to play football. It's the right way to win. But that's what I was pleased about today. We stuck to that. We never sort of got disappointed because it wasn't the game of our dreams at times, where we all would have different opinions on how we would want to play the game. I think to a man, every single one of the players were brilliant in accepting what was the asks of the game, and they did it really, really well. And I honestly believe we deserved the victory against a good side. But we kept going, and we just believed that at some stage we were going to get them. And if we kept doing our jobs at the back, we would get it over the line and get a really valuable win.
As you've touched on, I think Bromley, one of only 7 teams in the EFL who hadn't been beaten so far this season, was sticking to that game plan the key this afternoon.
Yeah, it was sticking to the asks of the game. Game plans and things, you never know how the game's going to go. There's no manager in the world that, trust me, that knows how it's going to go. He just has an idea because he's watched previous games. We kind of had an idea that that's how it was going to go. It was going to be difficult. It was going to be, they're going to make you defend all the time, and we'd have to be good at that. And then we said on the other side of that, we're going to have to be good at what we do to try and win a game of football. But the players stuck to that. I think it was the attitude of the players rather than a game plan, an attitude to do whatever was asked of them in their moment that they were representing us in. So that was the pleasing thing.
We had a number of chances, some great pressure. Goal came with 7 minutes to go. Did you always feel that goal was going to come?
Yeah, well, you hope. You hope, but we certainly, I think, we deserved it. We kept knocking at the door, and I think in the balance of chances, I think we had the most chances as well. But like I say, they're very good at what they do, and that's why they're at that end of the table and haven't been beaten. Nobody's really been able to sort of stop them from doing that. And I'm grateful that we were able to do that today. And like I say, it's an important one for us to get that first win as well at home as another one ticked off.
You said Bromley are good at what they do. What does it say about your team and the character of the players that we've become the first team to beat?
Character and attitude, that's football. Listen, football and ability will always be what it is. That'll always be there. That's definitely always there. But what fluctuates is attitude. Sometimes that will come up and down, and the game will affect it at times. And so that's what you've got to really work hard to try and make sure that you always have is a good attitude and a good discipline to force yourself to do the things that are necessary. And the players were able to do that today. And like I say, it was against a really well organised team that really know what they're doing, and we had to be at our best at playing that way today in order to get a win.
Back-to-back clean sheets as well, that must be pleasing.
I think we've been good anyway most of the season now. I think what we haven't done is got enough first goals or scored enough goals. We've always said that. We've created a lot of chances. I was speaking to the manager before the game, and he said, "Look, I've watched all your games previous, and you've had a lot of chances, haven't you? And just not been clinical. But every game that you've been in, you could probably be disappointed that you didn't get a win in." And I said, "Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. But you've got to win games. You've got to score goals and keep the back door shut at the other end." And the players were excellent at delivering that today.
Pleasing to see Big Mike come up with the winner.
Yeah, I really am. For a lot of reasons. Got a few bits going on at the minute, Mike, that I don't want you to fish for. I really don't. I don't want you to go fishing for what. He's got some stuff, private stuff going on. But what I want to be able to say is the character of the man. You probably wouldn't have seen that today, which is great credit to him. But please don't go fishing for it. It's very private. But he's turned in a performance today, and he's got a win today for us. And I'm absolutely delighted for him. I'd spoken to him yesterday, and I'm really, really pleased for him and his family that he's got that goal today and got as the winner.
It was a team effort. It was a very resilient defensive effort as well. But just to pick out a couple of names, Will Sutton's come in for his third appearance in the row this afternoon. How pleased are you with him? Not just this afternoon, but recently.
I want them all to be good. Will has been developed at the football club, and all we've done is give him the platform and helped him with his development. Moving forward, and he's turning in these types of performances. He's solid, reliable. He's got great character, Will, and he will keep going. We've recognised that early when we came to the football club, and he's delivering on that a bit like everybody else. You're seeing all these players are coming back now from injury. It's great for the competition in the team that everybody knows that they're going to have to be at their best to stay in the team, because we've got some good players coming back now, and some good players that didn't take part today. So. No, it's we're in a good place at the minute, but we're not going to rest on our laurels. We know what we need today to train every day to keep trying to improve, and what we'd have to do every weekend to try and get a win.
Matt Hudson made his 100th appearance for the club last week, and he's come up with a crucial contribution today when we've needed it, hasn't he?
Yeah, did they save that one at the end? Did they touch onto the post today? I couldn't see. There was a lot of bodies. That's a terrific save. That's a match-winning save. That's as good as a goal, isn't it? Because that goes in and everything's very different. But he's a very capable goalkeeper. That's why we were so desperate to get him tied down for another couple of years, because like he was another one that was here before I came. But we're delighted that he's still with us, because he produces moments like that.
And just to finish off, we touched on yesterday about the buzz that a win gives the whole place. A win at home gives that extra lift to everyone, doesn't it? You must be very pleased with that. Yeah,
because that's what we're here for. We're here to try and win games for the football club. That's what we've all been brought here to try and do. Fans, again, brilliant today. Absolutely brilliant. Don't want to miss them out and let them think that we don't appreciate them because they never let us down. But I'll always mention them because they were right behind us today. When we needed them, they got right behind us. And that gives the players a lift. That energises the players, because they want to fight for a good crowd. They want to fight for a team that's a crowd that's all in with them. And you see that when you get that unity from top to bottom and the supporters. Oldham's a very powerful football club, a very, very powerful football club, and long may that continue. Thank you, guys.
Oldham's a powerful football club. I like that. There's a lot that I like from that interview, but there was a moment yesterday was whatever it is that Mikey's got going on. He's Mikey's business, but we send him a lot of love and support from the fans because we love him and fair play to him for yesterday. There was a beautiful moment at the end of the game yesterday where Mellon and Mike embraced at the end, and that was really good to see. I was watching, and there was a lot of really genuine warmth and pride in that moment. And also, what I want to mention is, in relation to the crowd, was that when the goal went in, the joy. I think there was a certain element of relief, but it was a big moment. And then when that final whistle went, everyone were buzzing. It was a really, really good feeling, and it feels different. Boundary Park feels different, doesn't it, Adam? There's not the same sort of negativity and feeling and sort of residue from the past there. It's a different type of feeling, and I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that experience and getting over the line. And I think if we hadn't won yesterday, I don't think, if Hudson hadn't made that fantastic save, and we'd have, fans would have been disappointed, we would have been frustrated, but I don't think we would have been like baying for blood or booing them off the pitch or anything like that. There's a different attitude, and that has to come. You have to give credit to the manager for building a team that works as hard as it does, that is creating the chances, that defends as well as it does, all this kind of stuff. Managers, the heads are the first on the block when things are going badly. But, I'm not getting carried away. We've only won 2 games this season, like whatever, 14th in the league. But I'm talking about the overall general feel. It's different, innit, Adam? And obviously we got promoted last season, so that does help. But there is that feeling of momentum, whereas in the past we were being overtaken by the likes of Bromley. Well, that's not happening anymore. So it feels good, doesn't it, at Boundary Park?
Yeah, it really does. Like the fan kind of, like you said, the mood within the fan base is pretty positive, even when we're not firing on all cylinders. There's not the kind of thing of getting on players' backs anymore. Obviously, me and your brother are trying our best to get the moaning started, but it's just not taking off like it would be before. And yeah, I think credit goes to Micky Mellon. I was saying this the other day that I think he has appeased this fan base better than anyone. He was exactly the right man for the job to take over, in his words, an angry fan base, settle it down. And even when there's been times where it's flared up, he's come out and, called some people a prick and kind of fronted it up, really. I was carrying an inflatable dinosaur around for 3 games last season, just in the hope that I'd get to blow it up and give him some shit. But he really has fronted up to the fans, and he's exactly what this football club's needed. He's great. Love him.
Yeah, I know it's in jest, but I still don't get that mentality, Adam. Weren't you the one who was wandering around with a North Korea flag at one stage as well?
Yes, until the Yeovil stewards asked me to take it down. Yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah. I just, on each to their own. I just don't get the mentality. You've got a football club that Matt has just quite well described is on the up. It's going to have bumps in the road, and every now and again, some things won't go the way you want it to. But I think the other thing mentioned in Micky's interview there, which let's trial a new, Matt and I spoke about this, a new podcast feature, but it's a listeners participation feature. So it requires listeners to tag us in on our socials to a stat that they want us to debate. I'm gonna use one from Paul Prendergast, who's the source of all our Latics Minds questions. He tweeted last week, keepers making at least 100 appearances going back to 1981. How many clean sheets have they had in their first 100 games? And I'll read them in ascending order in terms of clean sheets. So Paul Gerrard, in his first 100 appearances, had 20 clean sheets. John Hallworth, 21 clean sheets in his first 100 games. Gary Kelly, 23. Andy Gorham, 30. Les Pogliacomi, 30. And Matt Hudson, 31.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that's an interesting stat, don't you? Worth debating for a minute.
I mean, the first thing that springs to mind is the quality of the strikers that you're up against in the National League compared to, the old Division 2 Premier League or whatever.
But then you could also say the quality of the defenders that sit in front of you screening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, but open to debate, innit? But look, I think I like Matthew Hudson. I think he's a good goalie at this level. He was a good goalie at that level last season. He's got a mistake in him, obviously. Everybody has. But if the statistics there, he's kept a lot of clean sheets. That's he's obviously a good goalkeeper. People rate him at the club. We've got him on a deal. He seems to be one of our most valuable assets, which is why we've got him down. So yeah, look, I think you need consistency. You need a consistent back four and keeper. They grow into the season. They become the more they keep clean sheets and the more they're difficult to break down, the better they are. And we noticed that last season when we lost one of the key components of it was back three last season. But when Manny was injured, and so yeah, I think he's done really well. That save was fantastic yesterday. Really, really good save. You watch it back. So yeah, I don't think goalkeeper is one of the positions that we have to worry about. Having said that, after yesterday's performance, I don't think we have to worry too much about anywhere on the pitch at the minute. Is that I mean, for where we're at and the division we're in and the teams that we have to play. I think what Mellon said yesterday was really what he said in the interview there was really key. I think yesterday, I don't think we clapped the team off yesterday thinking that they were the dominant team playing silky football for 90 minutes. There were times that first half an hour we were really, really good. Like they played some of the best football I've seen us play for a long time. But we did have to adapt to the game. The last 15 minutes of the first half, they started getting back into the game. We had to roll our sleeves up and we did adapt really well to the game. And I think that's what's most pleasing, that we've got that in us now. They can adapt. They can battle against big bruising teams like Bromley and come away with a win. So it's just overwhelmingly positive. Cue massive disappointment at Cheltenham next week.
One of the other things worth just touching upon amongst all this glowing positivity and a bright future is I've had quite a few people reach out to me over the course of the last few weeks just to say that they've been trying to get in contact with the club to sponsor games, matches, balls, kits, and receiving no reply. And Gaz was on the other week and mentioned that the loos were in a bit of a state of disrepair at the back of the Rochdale Road end, and I'm not sure they've been fixed yet. And there was a downpipe broken that was flooding all over the back. There's a few teething things which could do with polishing up. And if people from the club are listening, we know they do. Probably worth looking into a few of those before the next home game, having got an away game coming up this weekend, to see if we can fix those and make sure that people are responded to when they're trying to spend money with the club. Money's tight, and it would be good to make sure we get back to people in a timely fashion, wouldn't it?
Well, we know that the commercial managers left the club recently, Dale Harris. I don't know if somebody's come in. You'd expect somebody to be taking that role and taking calls and whatnot. But some Adam was in, not you, Adam, my other mate, Adam yesterday, my other mate, Adam. I don't know if he's won the lottery, but he got the score right yesterday. He was in hospitality. He was saying how packed out it was and brilliant it was. And he guessed the attendance. He was within 2. I think it was 6,714 and he guessed 6,712. That's good, isn't it? So, well done, Adam. It's other Adam. But yeah.
He should play the When the Blues Prediction League because he got a lot of points for that.
He should, yeah. That's very, very good. So, one thing I do want to mention, while we're just on things that are a bit negative, and that is keeping politics out of football and Boundary Park. Yesterday, obviously, 2 Foot Tommy had his little fucking whatever it was supposed to be protest about in London. Some of our fan base in the Rochdale Road thought it was a good idea to chant Keir Starmer was a wanker. That might well be the case, but I don't see what that's got to do with football. I've never heard any other Prime Minister being called a wanker at Boundary Park, so that was a bit novel. And also chanting fucking that little Poison Dwarf's name as well in the crowd. Everyone's got their own views. Football is the one thing that brings us all together. If you are a fan of the Poison Dwarf, that's up to you. It's got nothing to do with football. It shouldn't even be being talked about on this podcast, but I just don't think there's any place for it at Boundary Park. Thankfully, I think it was the more impressionable, sort of younger Atleticos that were doing it, as opposed to, I'd like to think, fully grown adults. But, I don't know. I just think keep your own political beliefs outside Boundary Park. Let's use football as a way of bringing us all together, like at the end of the game when everyone was buzzing, and that's what we're there for. It's divisive in a football stadium. You know what I mean? So I've said my piece now. Keep your fucking politics out of the football ground. I think we should all agree on that. Do we all agree on that, or am I off the mark?
I'm in agreement that all forms of political show should be kept away from sport. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree, and I'd like to take this opportunity to apologise for taking that North Korea flag to Yeovil as well, Andy. It did kickstart our promotion, so you can thank me.
I mean, that was at least directly related to your views at Latics, and I believe it was from a comment that you heard from someone within the club.
Yeah, it was Darren Royal's cheers, not jeers. So
yeah.
That really riled me up.
Yeah, so and that's a little bit tongue in cheek, like taking the thing. But I think having chants like that, I just don't see what it brings to the occasion.
Yep,
shall we do Latics Mind?
yeah. It would be remiss not to say anything. Anyway, let's go. Play Latics Mind, shall we? Where there is no piss to be bowled apart from Adams if he does poorly.
Well, what scores have you got on the other 4 occasions that you've been on this podcast?
My scores on previous occasions read like Tom Conlon's ratings last season. I think I got 1-1, 0-1. So yeah, not great.
Well, that gives you an absolutely brilliant opportunity to do well this time, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. I just pretend I'm in my car on a Monday morning. Always do quite well then.
Yeah, exactly. Shut your eyes. Hold the steering wheel. Relax. Latics Mind is sponsored by Oldham Athletic Supporters Foundation, investing in the fans, the club and the community. Join today at oasf.co.uk for just £12 a year. OASF, because we're stronger together.
What is Latics' biggest league win this decade in the 2020s?
5-1.
It was 5-0 against Newport in February 2020. Combined, how many Latics goals have Tom Pett, Tom Conlon, Kai Payne and Ryan Wood scored for Latics?
0.
Correct. Which French defender midfielder played for Latics between 2002 and 2003?
Pass.
Which goalkeeper returned for a second spell at Latics in the summer of 2006?
Pogliacomi.
Correct. Which striker did Latics sign from Leeds United in the summer of 1987?
Andy Ritchie.
Correct. Who was the forward Latics signed from Wrexham in 2020?
Pass.
Who scored Latics' first league goal this season?
Regan Ogle.
Wrong, it was Josh Hawkes. Excluding the playoffs, who scored Latics' last regular season goal in the National League?
Joe Garner.
Correct. Who were Latics' last opponents in both the Premier League and the Championship?
Swindon.
Wrong, it was Norwich City. Latics beat Grimsby Town 6-0 on Celebration Sunday in 2004. Scott Vernon scored a hat-trick. Name one of the other 3 goal scorers that day.
Kevin Betsy.
Wrong. You could have had either Adam Griffin, Jermaine Johnson, or Calvin Zola. Right, let's talk. I think that's your record score.
Yeah, you did all right.
Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct. 4, Adam. That's pretty good. I think you had a couple of passes. Let's find the passes and test Matt, who hasn't seen the questions. French defender midfielder played for Latics in 2002-03.
Was it Umvolto?
Oh, no, he came much later, 2010-11, I think he came.
Yeah.
It was Julian Baudet.
Yeah. See, I've got absolutely no concept of time.
Who was the forward Latics signed from Wrexham in 2020? Davis Keeler-Dunn.
Oh, did he come from Wrexham, did he?
He did. So, yeah, 4. Not a bad effort.
No, it's good, that.
Accept that.
Well done.
Very good. Very good. So are you doing Cheltenham next week, Matt? If Adam is?
I can't. No, I've got gigs, so I can't, unfortunately. I would have liked to. Would have liked to have gone down there next week. It's a bargain as well. I think it's only £27.50 for an adult.
I mean, that's another team we're talking about. Doing a bit of research on. They've just had a takeover completed in recent weeks, but a little bit too late for them to affect their transfer window. I think the chap that's taken them over was involved in Burnley and appears to have a few bob. So you'd expect them to throw a bit of money at it in January to try and get out of the mess that they're clearly going to be in probably around Christmas time. So now will be a good time to play them and try and nick 3 points off them.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just having a look at the league table, Andy. Their goal difference is -11, having scored just 3 goals and conceding 14. So, you've got to say that if you go out Cheltenham and get an early goal, you should be all right for winning the game. Well, maybe we'll win by more than 1 goal. Who knows? Well,
that'd be good. The last time I went to Cheltenham, we drew 0-0, and we had Mohamed Maouche in the middle of the park, and that's how bad it was. So hopefully we'll do better this time. Unfortunately, I can't make it either because it's my wedding anniversary next week, so I'm not around next week. So you're gonna have to get either Dave or Adam or someone to sit in.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, I'll get somebody to sit in. I think Adam. Adam Keeley. This is a shout out to you if you're free next week. It'd be nice to have you as the co-host again. Are you doing anything special for your anniversary, Andy? How many years have you been married to the lovely Lucy Halliwell?
9 years. We're going away for a weekend to a hotel and restaurant in Tunbridge Wells in Kent.
Lovely. Well, we have a smashing time. Obviously, the Latics result will make or break your weekend.
Obviously.
Have you got plans between 3 and 5 on the Saturday? How are you managing to wangle it, or are you on a strictly, are you having pure abstinence?
Yeah, I won't be allowed to watch it. If we're pottering about, I might try and just stick an AirPod in and see if I can listen. Yeah. But no, I won't be able to catch it.
Well, hopefully, based on the last 2 results and the performances this season, and we are not typical Latics anymore, are we? That's gone now. That typical Latics of, we're up against this team that's struggling and they've only scored 3 goals and blah, blah, blah. Like, we're a different animal now, aren't we? Are you going to be driving down brimming with confidence that we're going to be returning with all 3 points, Adam?
Yeah, potentially. I'm just trying to sort out with Dave's brother, actually, to cadge a lift down with him. So yeah, I'm confident for next week. I am, again, like Andy said, a little bit fuming about the pricing down there. So
Yeah.
I will be doing £27.50's worth of damage in Cheltenham Stadium to offset the cost. But yeah, no, I'm excited for the game, as I am every week. Oldham Athletic is my kind of downtime where, I have no responsibilities, no children. So yeah, that's my 1 day a week. So I'm looking forward to it.
And it has, and look, I mean, I'm enjoying this season as well. I really am enjoying it. I'm enjoying the game. I think that the quality of the games has been good. They've been entertaining. I think the obvious exception really is the Bristol Rovers game, which has been the only real kind of like dour game, I think, where there's not been, even in that there were chances to win, but it was probably the worst game of the season so far. I think apart from that, I think it's a bit misleading, the sort of the lack of goals in Oldham's games. If you were looking at it from that point, I mean, let's not get Andy started on the XG, obviously. But, if we were to use that as an offset stat against the actual goals scored, the games have been more entertaining than that suggests. And it, like Micky said in his interview there, he was discussing with, is it Adam Woodward, the manager of
Andy Woodman.
Andy Woodman, like my brain made up a new name that was near the name. Yeah. He said, like, we could have won every game this season. There's no doubt about that. We could be top of the league with a perfect record if we'd just taken our chances. So the signs are really, really positive, and I'm really enjoying it. So long may that continue, because that is not something that we've been able to say on very many occasions, Andy, as we approach the 6th birthday of the Boundary Park. Oh, sorry, the 5th birthday of the Boundary Park alert system.
Yeah, no, it's definitely shaping up to be good. I mean, when I came away from MK Dons in the opening game, a team that they're actually not blowing everyone away, are they? They're in and around the playoffs, so maybe they'll take a bit of time to get going. But the amount of money they'd spent, and we competed on that day perfectly adequately. I came away from that thinking, no, I think we'll be all right in this league. It is much more physical than I remember it being. I don't know whether it's changed in 3 years, but I can remember coming out of League One into League Two and thinking that the quality was poor. It's definitely a much more physical league than I remember it being last time. But we've acquitted ourselves pretty well, and we're getting stuck in. And yeah, whatever will be this season. It kind of doesn't matter. The fact that we're here is the good news. But you just never know, do you? So we could have interest all the way up until the end of the season, fighting for a place in the playoffs or trying to get involved in that. I think will be fantastic for the club.
Yeah. We've got Cheltenham, like we said, then we're at home to Barnet the week after. Unfortunately, this week I was supposed to be handing out fanzines, but they didn't arrive in time for the game. So they'll be being handed out ahead of the Barnet game on the 27th, which is on Sky, I believe. So it's an early kickoff for that one. And then after that, we're away at Notts County. So we've actually got, with yesterday's game against Bromley and then the game against Barnet and being away at Notts County, we're revisiting some of the teams that we played in the National League. So our memories of Barnet at home, I don't really have any. I can't remember how we fared against them at home.
Well, we lost last season because Mark Shelton was celebrating, wasn't he?
That's right.
With everybody. Notts County, we got absolutely murdered 4-1 after Joe Nuttall had scored a screamer. Yeah. But one of the other things for me is having been to MK Dons, which is a fantastic championship level stadium. And going to Cambridge last week, bit more ramshackle, but still had a good atmosphere and feel about it. My next game will be Notts County, another cracking stadium. So it's great to be going to places that are not, bush shelters, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's Football League. We're back, and look, we've got an eye on League One now. Let's be honest, that's where we're heading. That's the direction of travel.
I'd love to get stuck into Stockport and Bolton and Wigan, wouldn't you?
Huddersfield, Bradford. Yeah. I mean, that's
Barnsley.
Yeah, exactly. Good grounds, good attendances, and I've been looking around at the attendances in the Championship, League One, and League Two. Even like football is booming at this level. The crowds are really good, and I think it's. I think let's just get back to where we belong, which is minimum League One. But there's a lot of work to do. But the fact is that 8 games in, we believe that we could be in the mix at the end of the season. And if you'd have told us that at the start of last season, we'd have snapped your hand off. So it's happy days all around. Happy days. Anyone got any other business?
Not really. No.
They're shaking their heads, listeners, and I guess their silence kind of indicated that there was none. Adam, thanks for coming and stepping in to be our fan guest for the 5th time.
Thanks for having me. Cheers, guys.
No worries. Give our best to Kim Jong-un, or whatever he's called, won't you, when you next see him? Andy, thanks a lot, mate. Have a wonderful anniversary.
Thanks, mate.
Next weekend. I hope it's made all the happier with Latics winning convincingly down at Cheltenham. We'll see you all for the phone-in on Thursday. Give us a ring. Give us a call. Have a spin of the Wheel of Wonder. And, we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys. The Boundary Park Alert System is sponsored by Pendle New Tech, a family-run Lancashire business you can rely on for everything fire safety related, including supply and installation, maintenance, testing, certification, alarms, risk assessments, like I said, anything fire safety related. But what do I know? Visit pendlenutech.com and they'll sort you right out. Check the show notes for more information. It's time to hear from our partner for this episode, Build Budget Expert. If you're planning building work, you may be worried about what to do next, how to choose the right architect or builder, and have concerns about going over your budget, a bit like Micky Mellon. Build Budget Expert offers an affordable, personalised service that can guide and support you all the way from first idea to completion. And for all Latics fans, there's a Build Budget Expert promotion, 10% off. Just email hello@buildbudgetexpert.com and quote, "We're on our way, we're on our way."
Hey Dave, did you know that listeners can now buy us a coffee or any other kind of hot beverage?
Ooh.
What's your favourite hot beverage, Dave?
A macchiato.
And how do you like your macchiato?
Black with lots of milk. Oh.
No cream?
No.
Well, if you want to buy Dave a
macchiato,
then go to buymeacoffee.com/We Are Oldham. I'll just have a Nescafe.
Ooh. Thank you, listeners.